Hello dear students of 6th primary. Let's go to start our episode today instead of Mr. Nader Nassim as a substitution at your school, and today we have a general review about what we studied before. As Mr. Nader told me, we have general review today, and let's go to start with different types of questions as complete, problems, and choose. With a first type of question as we have here complete the following statements. نبتدي مع بعض بأول question as we have here complete the following statements. As we have light bulb consists of what, and what. We have three main parts in the light bulb as number 1 base, number 2 glass bulb, and number 3 filament. So here we have three main parts. As you like, we can start with filament, glass bulb, then base. Okay. Next question. Materials are classified into what and what. We have according to the conductivity of electricity, توصيل الكهرباء. We have here two main parts of the materials as we have electric conductors or electric insulators. As here we have electric conductors like iron, copper, aluminium. They are good conductor of electricity, and electric insulators are a bad conductor of electricity. Third one, we have suction pump is what, while what is a second class lever. We talk about first, second, and third class levers as we studied before in Unit 1. خدنا قبل كده في Unit 1 we have three types of levers. So we have to mention the type of lever here as we have a first class lever, while what we have many examples as second class lever as we have here wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow is a second class lever. Okay. Next question is light bulb changes what energy into what energy. Here we know a light bulb is operated by electricity, and at the same time light bulb produce light. So here we have two types of energies as we have electric energy into light energy. طبعا light and heat at the same time. بتطلع برضو heat at the same time. Next question is طبعا عرفنا electric energy into light energy. Filament of the electric lamp is made of, طبعا we know electric lamp consists of filament and glass bulb and base, three main parts. But here we talk about the filament أو الخيط اللي جوه inside the electric lamp is made of what? Tungsten. And we know tungsten is a good conductor of electricity and has high melting point. يعني مش هيسيح بسرعة. يبقى has two options أو two advantages. Here we have tungsten because it is a good conductor of electricity and at the same time has high melting point, so it doesn't melt easily by the heat energy that produced from the electric current inside the electric lamp. So we talk about tungsten. Here we have a problem. If a body sits on a seesaw, طبعا seesaw اللي هي زي البالانس، زي المرجحة اللي هي بتبقى balance, one on the right side and one in the left side. Its weight is 250 newtons at a distance about 100 centimeter from the fulcrum. طبعا احنا عارفين الفulcrum as fixed point here as the first class lever between the resistance and force here. From the fulcrum and a girl sits on the other side. واحدة بنت قاعدة على السايد الثاني. Her weight is 200 newtons. Calculate the distance suitable to set this girl to make balance. So here we have طبعا عندنا 250 times 100 equal 200 times distance. We want to calculate the distance. لازم نعرف distance between the girl and the fulcrum. So here we have the mathematical law. Here we have what? Effort force times effort arm equal resistance times resistance arm. So لو انا جيت اعملها او احلها كده اهوت، لما نبص هنا اهوت مع بعض، انا عندي problem كده، عندي force times arm equal resistance times arm. And we know here we have force of the boy is 250 times 100 as a distance equal 200 as the هنا resistance as Newton of the girl times arm. And we want to calculate the distance between the girl and the fulcrum here. So here we have distance. So as you see here we have arm or distance equal 250 times 100 over 200 by using as we see calculator هنا. أقول له 250 times 100 over أو equal طبعا 25 أو 25,000 over what over 200 equal what? Equal 125. طيب 125 watt. We should remember the measuring unit here. 125 watt. We talk about the resistance arm. So here the measuring unit is watt. Here on the other side we have the measuring unit in centimeter. Don't forget to write the measuring unit beside the number as force in Newton or weight in Newton and the distance in centimeter. نكمل مع بعض هنا هوت. So we should remember the mathematical law and we should remember the measuring unit of each one of them. And if we have one unknown quantity in any side, we have to replace or change or transfer the other quantity. As here we have times on this side, we change as divided on the other side to calculate as we have force or as we have here distance. We have force in Newton or resistance in Newton. At the same time we have the distance in centimeters. طيب نكمل مع بعض هنا. We have another question as we have طبعا هنا from طبعا effort force times effort arm equal resistance times resistance arm. F times F arm equal R times R arm طبعا, and we calculate the time. We have here another problem. عندنا مسألة تانية بيقول لي a long uniform metallic bar is hanged متعلق from its midpoint. Okay, a force is 400 Newton exerted أو exerts يعني قوة هبذلها أو هعملها at 5 centimeter. So here we have 40 times 5. From this midpoint find the weight. يبقى أنا عايز resistance on the other side as in Newton, which must be hanged at 25 centimeters to make the bar get balance. يبقى we have 40 times 5 and on the other side we have R times 25. نشوفها كده مع بعض. يبقى 40 times 5 نعملها هنا. يبقى 40 times 5 as we have force times arm equal resistance times its arm. So we have, as you see here, 40 times 5 equal, at the other side we have 25 centimeters, so we have R times 25 centimeters. So we want to calculate here what? We want to calculate the resistance to make the body in balance. As we see here we have R equal what؟ نحسبها كده مع بعض. هقول له R equal as 40 times 5 over 25. So we have, by using, as we have 40 times 5 over 25 equal what? 8. Equal what? Equal 8. 8 what? We talk about the resistance, or we talk about the force here. So we have the measuring unit is Newton. The measuring unit is what is Newton. So remember to write the measuring unit beside the number, as we have arm or by centimeters, and the resistance or force by Newton. Okay, we have another question. عندنا question تاني. طبعا هنا by using mathematical law we can طبعا recognize. طبعا in the second class level the effort force is 150 Newton. Length of the force arm equal 20 centimeters and the resistance equal 300 newtons. Calculate the resistance arm. طبعا as we see we have to calculate the resistance arm. طبعا as the previous problem يبقى عندي ال resistance arm equal 150 times 20 over 300. تمام؟ about 10 newtons. يبقى لازم نفتكر مع بعض how can we deal with this type of questions, as we have mathematical law or mathematical formula to deal with this type of problems. طبعا هنا عندنا the next type, as we choose the correct answer from the following statements. Number one, water rises rise from root to stem through what layer؟ طبعا الروت يحصل لها rising through the طبعا as we have wood in the trees, so here the answer is wood. Next one, all the following conduct electricity. As a good conductor of electricity or electric conductivity, as we have except, we have iron, we have copper, we have cloths, we have aluminium. How can we choose except? Because they are a good conductor except what? طبعا except clothes. طبعا الهدوم is a bad conductor or insulator, so we wear clothes in winter and in summer because doesn't conduct a bad conductor of electricity or طبعا heat والحرارة في نفس الوقت. The partial solar eclipse appears in the area of what? طبعا we have solar eclipse and we have lunar eclipse. Appears in the area of what? طبعا we have umbra, we have penumbra, we have negative shadow and umbra. So we have partial, خلي بالنا, solar eclipse, not complete solar eclipse, as we have here penumbra. Penumbra. So the partial solar eclipse appears in the area of penumbra. Number 4 here, the filament of the light bulb is made of, as we have complete or choose or correct underlined, we should remember the material that the filament is made of, as we have here tungsten, copper, lead or iron. So we remember the filament of the light bulb is made of, طبعا we have tungsten, and we know tungsten is a good conductor of electricity and at the same time has high melting point, doesn't cut by changing the temperature او hardly to melt by heat. من الصعب ان هو يعني بصعوبة ان هو طبعا has a life cycle، ليه عمر افتراضي طبعا، but we choose tungsten as a material because it's a good conductor of electricity and has high melting point at the same time. When we connect more than one bulb in a parallel، خلي بالنا in a ايه؟ in a parallel an electric source, the lighting of the bulb is what? Decreases, increases, doesn't change as A, B and C. طبعا عمري ما اختار A, B and C هنا، ليه؟ لان طبعا decreases increases at the same time, so how come? So when we connect more than one bulb in a parallel connection, وصلتهم parallel, they have many routes, كذا طريق, in parallel. So here the lighting of the bulbs doesn't change. At home we connect the bulbs بنوصل في البيت electric bulbs اللمض in parallel connection, because if one of them is off, يعني اتطفت لمبة منهم, the rest bulbs will complete or turn on as normal. The plant makes its own food through what process? طبعا we remember this information from previous years, as we have in 4th primary. We know plant makes its own food through what? Respiration, digestion, sensation, or photosynthesis process. So here we know respiration يعني تنفس, digestion يعني هضم, sensation يعني إحساس, and we know photosynthesis process is a specific process inside the plant to make its own food. So here we will choose photosynthesis process. Next one is the first class liver differs from the second class liver in what? Again, the first class liver differs from the second class liver in what? طبعا هنا عندنا first class liver second class liver. One of them we have to save the effort, and the first one may save the effort. The third class liver doesn't save the effort. خلي بالنا من الديفرنس, main difference. Here we have absence of the acted force, the presence of the fixed point. خلي بالنا بيقول عايز difference, يعني difference ما بينهم, فرق. The position of the fulcrum ولا the presence of the resistance. طبعا هنا all class levers have resistance and have force at the same time. So the main difference between first class lever, second class lever, and third class lever is the position of fulcrum. In the first class lever, the position of fulcrum in the middle, but in the second class lever, the force is the resistance in the middle, but in the third class lever the force is in the middle. So we have to classify them according to the position of the fulcrum between first, second, and third class lever. When the moon comes between the sun and the earth, what happens? So if we have moon between sun and the earth, we have phenomenon here, as we have tornado, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, tsunami. طبعا we know tornado, which means اللي هو الإعصار, اللي هو twister مثلا, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, and tsunami, as we have tsunami is a huge tide in the oceans. So the moon comes between, so here we have solar eclipse because moon blocks the sun apart from the sun light, as we have solar eclipse or partial solar eclipse from the types of the solar eclipse. So here we have solar eclipse. The filament of the light bulb is made of tungsten. هنا طبعا we know is made of tungsten because what? We have has low density, has low melting point, has high melting point, ولا reacts with oxygen. طبعا we have two options in the tungsten. We have tungsten is a good conductor of electricity, and at the same time it has high melting point. It has high melting point. Okay, next one. Tweezers is considered as the third class lever. طبعا عارفين tweezers as اللي هو to hold مثلا ice مثلا, or to hold any hot material. So third class lever doesn't save the effort او doesn't save the for, يعني ما بيحافظ او ما بيوفرش الeffort بتاعتي. Because is what? Here we talk about the position of 3 points, as we have fulcrum, resistance, and we have force. The fulcrum between the resistance, force, and the resistance. طبعا how come? Number 2, the effort force between the resistance, force, and fulcrum. Okay. Number 3, the resistance force is between the effort force and the fulcrum. Number 4, the resistance force and the effort force affected on the same point. طبعا how come هنا؟ يبقى we have two choices in this give reason. يبقى we third class lever طبعا because ايوه effort force is between resistance force and fulcrum. So resistance arm is greater than effort arm أو force arm. Okay. To observe the solar eclipse عشان ألاحظ السولار eclipse safely بأمان يعني من غير ما يحصل لي حاجة. You should wear what? Special glasses, heavy clothes, medical glasses, or lenses. We have 4 options here. How can we save our eyes عينينا from the solar eclipse? طبعا during observation لما اجي ابص عليه يبقى هنا we use special glasses to protect our eyes from ultraviolet rays and infrared rays may cause blindness. So here we use special glasses نظارات معينة. Which of the following is the second class lever? طبعا we know we have first with examples we have first مثلا like seesaw, we have second like wheelbarrow مثلا for example, and we have third as tweezers or tongue مثلا اللي هو الملقاط مثلا. So here we have sweet holder. خلي بالنا بيقول second class lever. اقول له sweet holder doesn't save effort يبقى من الثird على طول. We have wheelbarrow طبعا wheelbarrow from the second. seesaw طبعا اللي هي from the first. hockey bat يبقى هنا we use what? We use wheelbarrow as a second class lever. Plugging many machines توصيل يعني to one socket يعني في نفس الفيشة may cause what? Electric overload تحميل كهرباء كتير, heating up of wires يعني يسخن السلوك, and may cause fire, or A, B, and C. We have the harms or the dangers of electricity as a direct and indirect. So here we use what as A, B, and C because plugging many machines to one socket may cause electric overloads, may cause heating up of wires, may cause fires. Okay? Next one is in the annular solar eclipse. نخلي بالنا قال annular solar eclipse. The moon size appears what? The size of the sun. المون size بيبان what? To the size of the sun. يا ترى larger than the size of the sun, smaller than the size of the sun, equal to the size of the sun, ولا more tiny than the size of the sun. طبعا more tiny يعني صغير قوي, وسمولر اللي هي نمبر 2 يعني صغير, equal to يعني the same size, larger than يعني اكبر من size of the sun. So we will use smaller than the size of the sun. We talk about here annular solar eclipse. Annular solar eclipse. Again خلي بالنا ها. Number 6 here we have lunar eclipse occurs in the what of the lunar month. خلي بالنا lunar eclipse يعني related to the moon. and we have lunar month اللي هي الشهور القمرية أو الشهور الهجرية. يبقى the lunar eclipse بيحصل امتى؟ occurs in the what of the lunar month. طبعا we have middle نص الشهر and beginning or first 3 days. نختار أني واحدة؟ خلي بالنا بيتكلم على the duration of the lunar eclipse. So here we have middle of the lunar month يعني في منتصف الشهر القمري أو الشهر الهجري. Okay. During the starts of the total lunar eclipse. خلي بالنا بيقول during the starts of the total lunar eclipse because هنا بنتكلم in the previous question we talked about the lunar eclipse generally. خلاص. Here we talk about what? We talk about during the start بداية of the total lunar eclipse. The color of the moon tends to be لون القمر هيبقى ايه؟ gray, yellow, orange or red. طبعا gray طبعا رمادي، اليلو والاورنج والريد طبعا يعني nearest color to each other، اقرب 3 الوان لبعض as we studied before in 5th primary لما خدنا light colors. طبعا هنا we choose red. خلي بالنا ان هو total lunar eclipse القمر appears او tends يعني يبدو to be red ان هو بيبقى لونه يعني لونه احمر and dark red كمان بيبقى احمر غامق. Next question. The lever were first described. The levers were first described in 260 BC. طبعا قبل الميلاد او before Christ. The Greek scientist العالم اليوناني مين؟ Number 1 Archimedes. Number 2 الحسن ابن الهيثم. Number 3 نيوتن. Number 4 مندل. يبقى we have 4 scientists. Number 1 Archimedes. Number 2 الحسن ابن الهيثم. Number 3 نيوتن. Number 4 مندل. طبعا we know the scientist Archimedes levers were discovered او described ابتدأ مش discovered ابتدأ يشرحها طبعا الجريك scientist Archimedes. In the annular solar eclipse the moon size appears to the size of the sun. طبعا we remember and we يعني حفظنا ان الانnular solar eclipse the moon size appears to the size of the sun. Larger than, smaller than, equal to ولا more tiny. we هنا remember we يعني repeat this question more than one time. انا عارف انه اتكرر بس عشان هنا في in this question we should remember the size of the sun يعني او the size of the moon related to the size of the sun. طبعا we know smaller than لان انا بتكلم in the annular solar eclipse the moon size appears to the size of the sun. What is meant by? طبعا هنا we have definitions as the opposite question of the scientific term. طبعا هو عكس السؤال بتاع scientific term. Here dear students لازم لما نعرف حاجة مهمة جدا. If we remember the definition we can answer. May give reason, may scientific term, may what is meant by, correct, underlined, right or wrong. يبقى definitions very important because we understand the main points in the lesson. بنعرف النقط المهمة في lesson and at the same time by using that definition we can answer, give reason for. مثلا for example the first class lever may save the effort. طبعا انا لما بيجي يقول لي first class lever طب ما انا we can define the first class lever to answer give reason for. مثلا بقول له because the fulcrum between the resistance and force. The second class lever save the effort. We remember the position of what? The position of resistance is between the force and fulcrum. So the هنا يبقى الفورس arm greater than resistance arm, so it saves effort. يبقى we can, if we remember the definitions, we can answer. Again, give reason, what happens sometimes, correct, underlined, choose scientific term, what is meant by. يبقى don't forget to understand the definitions. مش بنحفظها، بنفهمها. اوكي؟ طيب what is meant by، نبتدي بأول question قدامنا هنا اهو. liver. يبقى عندنا هنا liver. طبعا we remember liver generally, not first, not second, not third class liver. It is a ridged bar or straight or curved. طبعا bar we know اللي هو عمود او قضيب. That rotates around a fixed point. طبعا الفيكس point طبعا called fulcrum. طبعا fulcrum its position change from one type of the levers to another and is affected by effort, force and what and resistance and a resistance force. يبقى lever generally rigid bar rotate around a fixed point called fulcrum and is affected by an effort force and resistance force. يبقى عندي هنا هوت طبعا ال 3 main points in the lever اللي هو الفيكس اللي هي الفولكرم resistance and effort. Electric current as the second definition in our curriculum or in our syllabus المنهج بتاعنا. How can we define the electric current? It is the flow of electric charge or electrons. طبعا electrons اللي هي electric charge through a material conducting electricity, not in any material. Not in any material. يبقى لما يجي يقول لي what is meant by electric current، يعني ايه تيار كهربي، اقول له it is the flow of electric charge through a material، مش اي material conducting electricity، بتوصل كهرباء as iron, aluminium, copper, tungsten. So we have many examples about the electric current conductors, and at the same time we have many examples about the many as the electric current insulators, as plastic, as clothes, as wood, and so on. الفولكرم is a fixed point where the bar rotates on. طبعا عندنا الفولكرم هو الفيكس بوينت. لما نرجع كده هنا نخلي بالنا تاني، انا برجع تاني اهو للفيرست ديفينيشن. الليفرز زي ما احنا شايفين a fixed point called fulcrum. خلي بالنا لان هوت عندنا الفيكس بوينت اسمها فولكرم اللي هي روتيت او ذات ذا ليفر روتيتس اراوند اللي قلناها في الديفينيشن بتاع الليفر. لما نيجي هنا نتكلم نوت طبعا الكتريك كارنت قلناها، لما يجي يقول لي ايه يعني ايه فولكرم بقى as a part from the liver is a fixed point where the bar rotates around or on. يبقى we have three main points: fulcrum, resistance and force or the effort force. So here we have to define fulcrum is a fixed point where the bar rotates on اللي بيلف عليها. effort force يبقى عندنا effort force عندنا resistance we have at the same time fulcrum. We know fulcrum the fixed point in the liver that the effort rotate around or the lever rotate around or on. So effort force which is exerted by a person to equilibrate the resistance. equilibrate هنا يعني يعمل توازن او balance مع resistance. يبقى الافورت فورس اللي هي المجهود اللي انا او الحاجه اللي انا هعملها طبعا which is exerted by a person to equilibrate the resistance عشان يعادل ال resistance on the other side. Okay. Resistance force that resulted from the weight on the other side بقى، لان انا عندي ال resistance force، عندي ال effort force، عندي ال fulcrum، يبقى that resulted from the weight of the body that we want to move. So dear students, here we have three main points or positions in the lever: fulcrum, resistance force, and effort force. Fulcrum is the point that lever rotate on, and it has many or three positions. If we talk about the resistance as weight, we want to equilibrate by the طبعا effort force, and at the same time we have effort force اللي هو effort exerted to equilibrate the resistance عشان يعادل الريزيستنس بتاعتنا. So we should remember the three main points here. Okay. Next one, definition اللي بعديه. Electric lamp. طبعا electric lamp we remember electric lamp change the electric energy into light energy and heat at the same time. بس طبعا we use electric lamp to generate light عشان نولد الضوء يعني او نطلع الضوء. They are tools that convert electric energy into light energy. We can use this definition in may correct underlined or right or wrong or scientific term as we have نعكس السؤال. They are tools that convert electric energy into light energy. We will answer as electric bulb. Okay. طبعا electric circuit في فرق هنا between the electric bulb and electric circuit. نخلي بالنا يعني عشان الالكتريك لامب او الالكتريك bulb اللمبه يعني هي differs than electric circuit. ده definition والelectric circuit another definition. Is a closed and continuous path يعني ممر او طريق مقفول ومتصل which the electric current will pass making a complete cycle. طبعا we have turning off, we have turning on. So we turn on the يعني device بنوصل الجهاز وبنشغله. So we should have an electric circuit. So here considered as closed and continuous path that electric current pass through it to complete the cycle. Again لازم نفرق ما بين الالكتريك سيركت وما بين الالكتريك ايه الالكتريك لامب او الالكتريك بالب. الالكتريك لامب is a tool يعني دي اداه just apart from what هي جزء من الالكتريك سيركت. اوكي يبقى الالكتريك سيركت is a path ده ممر ده طريق that electric charge pass through اللي الكهرباء او الشحنه الكهربائيه هتمشي جوه. Here we have write the scientific term. Write the scientific term. يعني طبعا here as a opposite here we have to define. To define in the definition عندنا عكسه بقى أنا هقول scientific term. يعني just we answer by one or may maximum as two words. كلمة أو كلمتين. Number one. An inert gas that is used in the electric lamp. طبعا هنا we know electric lamp or electric bulb should filled with inert gas. طبعا inert gas inactive gas طبعا doesn't help in burning يعني لو هو مش oxygen طبعا عشان كده we filled the electric lamp with inert gas. طبعا argon inert gas especially يعني argon inert gas. Next one, the material that is used in putting out electric fire. طبعا هنا any electric fire we should put this electric fire by using what? We can't use water. مش هينفع اطفي electric fires حريقة كهرباء by using water. We should put off the أو putting out يعني ننهي electric fires by using what? As we use here sand اللي هو الرمل أو التراب to putting out the electric fires اللي هي حريق الكهرباء. Not water طبعا. Water here is a good conductor of electricity causing electric shock طبعا. Levers that have the resistance خلي بالنا البوزيشن the resistance between the effort force and the fixed point. طبعا الليفر اللي الريزيستنس هي اللي في النص between the effort force and the fulcrum. Here we have what? Yes, second class lever because the effort arm greater than the resistance arm. Okay. خلي بالنا البوزيشن of any one from a resistance or effort force or the fulcrum. We can determine the kind of the lever from the position of these three main points. Levers that have the fixed point between the effort force and the resistance. هنا بقى اليمين اللي في النص. The fixed point between the effort force and the resistance. طبعا الفيكس point اللي هي مين؟ الفولكرم. Yes. So here we have fulcrum between effort force and resistance force as see so اللي هي مرجحة اللي هي البالانس اللي كنا بنلعب بيها كلنا واحنا صغيرين. طبعا هنا طبعا we talk about what? We talk about the first class lever. طبعا first class lever may save the effort. مش not in all طبعا cases يعني. اوكي. electric shock. electric shock اللي هي صدمة كهربائية طبعا as we putting off electric fire by water مثلا. طبعا ده direct هنا danger of the electric current. طبعا here أقول it is the result of an electric current التيار الكهربي passing through the human body. بعد الشر عننا جميعا ان الالكتريك كارنت او التيار الكهربي passing through the human body هيمشي جوه جسم الانسان. يبقى هنا عندي اسمها electric shock او الصعقة الكهربائية او الصدمة الكهربائية. يبقى it is the result of an electric current passing through the human body. give reason for. المرة دي بقى هنقول give reason, not choose, not complete, not scientific term, not what is meant by. But by using the previous questions, we can use these points to answer give reasons for. Number one, argon is used in the electric lamp instead of atmospheric air. طبعا أنا بستخدم الأرجون. Argon is an inert gas, an inactive gas, مش نشط. بيسموه inactive or inert gas. طبعا هنا we answer the give reason for by using because argon is an inert gas that prevent burning. We can't use oxygen. طبعا عارفين oxygen helps in burning. So we want to يعني نطول أو to keep the life cycle of the electric lamp longer than. طبعا we use argon because argon is an inert or inactive gas that prevent burning. Water cannot be used to put out the fire resulting from electricity. طبعا if we want to putting out the fire of electricity we use what? We use the sand. هي بنستخدم التراب او الرمل. يبقى ليه طبعا give reason for we cannot use water to putting out the fire from electricity. ليه؟ طبعا هقول له ايوه because water is a good conductor of electricity. طبعا هي هتوصل الكهرباء and causing electric shock to the person try to putting out the electric fire هنا. and طبعا causing electric shock. what is meant by electric shock again is the passing of electric current inside the human او through the human body. كهرباء هتمشي جوه جسمه and causing electric shock. so we cannot use water because water is a good conductor of electricity. The light bulbs in the house are connected in parallel. طبعا we know in this case the connection in parallel, the electric أو the light intensity قوة الإضاءة doesn't change as it is. تفضل زي ما هي. بس هنا بيسألني the light bulbs is أو in the house are connected in parallel because when one of the lamps is damaged or turned off. ولو واحدة فيهم damage يعني burn اتحرقت مثلا or turned off أو أنا طفيتها, all the other lamps in the house will still working. هتفضل زي ما هي. why? طبعا because we have here many routes. عندنا كذا طريق. if one of them is cut the other will complete. عشان كده we connect any devices أي أجهزة مش electric bulbs at your homes or at your houses by using parallel because if one of them is damaged the other will complete أو still working. هيفضل يكمل شغله عادي خالص. because we have many routes. بكررها تاني. sometimes the first class lever save efforts. طبعا احنا قلنا ال first class lever the fulcrum between effort and resistance as a seesaw. طبعا the most famous example about the first class lever. طبعا هنا why the first class lever may أو sometimes. طبعا هنا when the effort force arm is longer than the resistance arm. The same answer of the second class lever. the second class lever طبعا save effort. طبعا السكند كلاس ليفر بتحافظ على الافورت. ليه؟ لان الفورس ارم longer than the resistance arm. سوري. فلما يجي يقول لي sometimes the first class lever save efforts هقول له because the effort force arm او the effort arm او the force arm as you like is longer than the resistance force arm او the resistance arm. طبعا احنا عارفين الكلام ده من قبل كده لان احنا we talked about the mathematical law to calculate the resistance arm and effort arm and at the same time طبعا resistance and effort force. هنا the type is what happens. تاني اهو بنشوف اهو بنتكلم على what happen if. ايه اللي هيحصل؟ Number 1 the filament of the light bulb is made of iron. طبعا we know the filament of the light bulb is made of tungsten. معمول من التنجستن. طبعا the filament will melt as the high temperature او at the high temperature because we know electric energy change into light and heat. طب واحد يقول لي الحديد طبعا we use tungsten هنا. طب واحد بيقول لي افرض احنا استخدمنا الايرن هقول له will melt هيسيح بسهوله not like ايه tungsten. A man touched uncovered wire carrying current. لو واحد لمس uncovered wire اللي احنا بنسميه سلك عريان carrying current يعني جواه electric current he will be shocked by electric shock. طبعا هنا from the direct dangers of the electric current. The last question write the scientific term. اخر سؤال هناخده مع بعض بيقول لي ان هو levers that contain the fulcrum. خلي بالنا قال لي الفولكرم between effort force and the resistance force. طبعا هنا هيبقى مين؟ طبعا the first class lever. Okay dear students at the end of this episode طبعا next time ان شاء الله Mr. نادر will be with you. يعني I hope we can understand all the points in this episode. Thank you Mr. Nader. We will be with you next time. Goodbye.